What?
Tell them where you are.
I'm at the Fairview Lawn Cemetery,
Where Titanic
where Titanic victims are.
To the site, there's another group up there, so we'll have to just work with the group, okay, and go around them. So come on up this way. So what we have here is the largest burial site in the world for the victims of the Titanic. This is called the Fairview Lawn Cemetery, and there were 121 victims buried here who were either Protestant or unknown. The Jewish cemetery is in the corner where I pointed out earlier. The Catholic cemetery is another street over. Now, there are 4 rows of monuments here. 1, 2, short row right here, 3, and the last row is 4. They're shaped like the bow of a ship, if you notice. Go to a point up there. This lies in a northeasterly direction, which by coincidence is the same direction that the Titanic main hull lies on the ocean bottom, just by coincidence. Now you'll see the blocks here, the little blocks. They were provided by White Star Line, the owner of the ship. The ship was actually American, did you know that? It wasn't British, because the ship... The monuments that are largely like in the movie, large ones scattered around,
Awesome.
were largely because the family paid money to have a larger one. That some might have been on the ship, most of them didn't know. They made them all. Some had fewer living relatives, which meant fewer opportunities for lawsuits because you're using their name. Cameron's not stupid. This guy here was crew. His name was Joseph Dawson. He was from Southampton. And his job on the ship was that of a trimmer. Now what did a trimmer do on the Titanic? Anybody know what a trimmer did? It was the bottom of the social totem pole, yet everybody knows who he is today. He was a trimmer. A trimmer shoveled coal from there to there to keep the...
What do the numbers mean? I don't know.
In 1912, if you ever look at a picture of downtown Stockholm, Sweden, the main street of Stockholm, there's pictures online, you'll see the shipping lines. You'll see the Cunard line, you'll see the White Star line, you'll see the Allen line. Why don't you move a little closer so Alan can do that over there. You see the Allen line. But in between each shipping line office, you will see something different. And what you will see is a tailor shop. Guy that makes clothes, tailor, you know, tailor. And why is there a tailor shop there? Because you would go in and get your ticket for your voyage on the White Star Line, let's say, and you would go next door to the tailor shop and say to the guy, I want an immigration vest. Wink, wink, nudge, 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 wink, wink, an immigration vest. Guy would go, oh, he measure you all up for your vest, come back Tuesday, you come back Tuesday, and you put your vest on, and you look in the pockets, which have nothing, and you pull a piece of paper out, and you say, what is this in the pocket? My golly, it's the papers I need to get to America. They were forgers. They would forge papers and sell them to the passengers to get to America. These tailors, this is a well-known fact of the tailor shops, you see. Well, one of the people that, nice looking lady, she died, she came up from below, all the lifeboats were gone. 4 children died. Mother with her husband Niels. Niels had gotten a job in Chicago with a tram car company. He had saved the money for his family to immigrate to America. Emigrate, I guess it would be. When the family died, Niels was a broken man. He never recovered from the loss of his family. But the story went on as to whatever happened to the 4 children. When the Titanic sank, 52 children died, all 3rd class. 1st and 2nd class kids all lived. Well, that the 4th body they recovered was that of a little child, looked to be about 2 years old. So Mr. Crease and the crew of the McKay Bennett took the little child under their wing. He had no identification of him at all. They got him a coffin, they got him a church service at the St. George's Round Church down there in Halifax, and they got him a monument, but he was unknown. And he was called the unknown child of the Titanic. And he's buried right there. The youngest brother, how many years that would be the child? They weren't sure. They said, well, there's 52 kids, there's a bunch of girls, a bunch of older guys, a bunch of younger guys. So it narrowed it down to 6 people. They weren't sure. Well, a court order was given in 1911 in Halifax to do an excavation of that site there to try to find some DNA. When they made the coffin, good for DNA. They looked around, nothing much there. Found 1 molar, 1 tooth, with some dentine in it, which is good for DNA. They took those 2 samples to Dr. Ryan Parr at Lakehead University in Thunder Bay, Ontario, where they did a myocardial DNA analysis, HVD1 level, which was a non-nuclear level DNA. Dr. Parr had gotten his doctorate in DNA research at Harvard. So they took those findings and they looked at and they realized that the child was from Finland. So they went to the Finnish Genealogical Association and they traced the myocardial mother, which is the granny way back here, right? They got the granny way back here from the genealogical records, traced the tree back down, got a living relative, got a DNA from the living relative, and got a match to one of these kids. They said, aha, it's got to be this kid here from Finland. His name is Ino Panula, matching DNA. Dr. Parr said, hang on a second. The DNA is right, the tooth is wrong. What do you mean the tooth is wrong? Well, the tooth, according to the forensic dentist, was about 20 months old. Ino Panula was 14 months old. 14, 20, at that time, that age of your life, was a big difference. So they could tell for sure it wasn't 14. So he took the samples down to Harvard and got a nuclear DNA analysis done at the super duper machine down there, HVD2 level. So they were able to take the tree out a little further from the myocardial mother back here. One of the branches of the tree went to England, to a Goodwin family. One of the kids on the list was from England, a Goodwin. So they went to the Goodwin family in England. They ran to a lady called Carol Goodwin. They got a sample of Carol, and they got a match. 2 kids with the same DNA heritage, the same Grammy way back here, through the years, right? They got a match. So the kids are in the same tree, that's why, you know. Well, this child from England, turns out, was 19 months old when he died on the Titanic. So he's got the tooth, and he's got the DNA. And they're fairly conclusively decided that that's who that child is. And his name is Sidney Leslie Goodwin. And that was only discovered a year and a half, 2 years ago, who that child might be. Now, they're going to put a plaque there at some point, but Carol Goodwin said to leave that monument as a memento to the other 51 children who died on the Titanic, besides Leslie Goodwin. I'm going to be in Denver at the Museum of Nature and Science, so I got to go see it, right? So Don and I go to see it, and I end up talking to the curator of the museum about the Titanic, and we talked for like 2 hours, right, with all kinds of stuff. And he asked me to see anything in the display that might need a little adjusting. And I said, well, there's one small thing I did notice. And he said, what was that? I said, well, you got a picture of the Goodwin family on your display wall there. He goes, yeah, the Goodwin family. They lost 8 members. I said, your picture shows 7 members. He said, yeah. I said, there were 8. He said, who's the eighth? Just happened to know the story. Told him the story about Sidney Leslie Goodwin. He didn't know about that. He said, would you like to work here? I said, yes. Let me call my wife.